Here's a vintage ghost video taken back when most people did not know how to edit anything at all. A ghost hunter travels to an abandoned house in Virginia on a road in the woods with no streetlights and no neighbors. A CCTV system is set up, which looks old-fashioned by today's standards but was state-of-the-art back in 2002, and at 8:13 at night, this pale ghost in the window is caught on camera. The ghost in the window is not the investigator. He's standing behind the camera adjusting it at the time. According to him, this window is 7 feet off the ground with no way for anyone to get up there in the first place. I was thinking it was a passing car, but he says the street was quiet as always, so maybe it was an apparition after all. YouTuber This Is Dan Bell explored a creepy apocalyptic looking hospital in May of 2016. The hospital in question must have been a Christian hospital, as there is a cross on the front of the building. From the outside looking in, the place does live up to its title. The windows are darkened, and it's clearly empty and in disrepair. Upon entering, Dan finds a storage room filled with broken chairs. The room alongside it is covered in garbage and remnants of the past. Closer inspection of the garbage that lines the floor shows that this place was a dumping ground for needles, or perhaps it is still used as one. Hypodermic needles completely cover one section of the floor, an enormous stockpile of them. As they explore the place further, they run into that singular image of a single wheelchair in a dark hallway that we've seen so much on this list, and in another hallway a single stretcher. This time though, neither moves. Perhaps this hospital isn't haunted like the others, which is strange because it looks like a ghost prime haunting grounds. The exploration does turn up other interesting things as well, but it's mainly a series of long, dark, scary hallways and rooms strewn with filth, much like what you'd expect an apocalyptic hospital to look like. Have you ever woken up to the feeling that you're being watched? Posted to Twitter by San Bernardino PD in April of 2022, this brazen home intruder was captured on camera standing over the home's residents while they slept. A wise camera in the resident's bedroom caught the thief lurking over them, creepily watching them. It looks as though the thief knows there's a security camera there. As he covers his face with a piece of cloth, he watches the residents sleeping. After watching the sleeping residents, he starts looking around for valuables. While many of these videos don't often have a satisfactory conclusion, this one does. The San Bernardino Police Department writes in the comments, "Due to outstanding police work from our officers and investigators, the suspect was identified and arrested. Thankfully, he won't be hovering over anyone else as they sleep anytime soon." This woman found her toy doll in a disturbing state, so she contacted YouTuber Luan Mendes to help her.
Simone? Tá ali já, mano. Tudo bom? Bom, prazer, Luan. Pode entrar?
Pode entrar.
Oi? Tem alguém aí?
Tem meu marido e minha filha que tá dormindo.
Seu marido é o Leandro.
Shared by YouTube channel blah blah, this video is trending in the Arabic-speaking YouTube community.
Ah, tá estranho, mano.
E olha isso aqui.
Tá costurado, parece.
Tudo a mão tá costurada atrás.
Nossa.
E tá com uma fralda de criança. Com uma fralda de criança.
É.
Você comprou desse jeito já? Como que é?
Não, a gente tava passando.
After these guys come to take a look, they find the cellar. They hear something banging on the lid.
É você, boneca?
Ai! Sabia, mano!
Falando pra você, cara. Você viu? Eu vou entrar.
É a boneca, Luan.
So they climb in to investigate.
Cuidado.
Dá a câmera pra mim aqui, Júlio.
Ai, pô.
Nossa, que tá boa. Irmão, a boneca tá aqui.
The doll of horror is inside, but after stepping away from the horror doll for a minute, this happens.
A boneca tá do mesmo jeito.
Ai, ai! Cadê a boneca? Cadê a boneca, Pia? O que foi?
Cadê a boneca? Cadê a boneca? Tava aqui agora.
Ué, ela tava ali, irmão, ó. Ué.
it disappears. Where did the doll go? Was it possessed by something? Or did some slick soul do this to her? I have a theory. I think the doll was being used as a voodoo doll. That still doesn't explain where it disappeared to, but have no fear, the horror doll always returns.
Luan. Juro, ela é! Ai! Ai! Ela! Ai, 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 ai! Ai! Bati o gai! Nossa, mano!
Although you and I were probably not hoping for an encore for this one, a YouTuber named D-Edge detects strange activity in his hallway after leaving his PS4 camera on record. This small figure appears no less than 2 times, despite the apartment being empty, at least according to the uploader. 20 seconds later, the figure makes its second entrance, hanging around the top of the doorway each time before disappearing into the darkness. I was thinking that maybe this was light coming from the window across the room, but the angle doesn't exactly match up. Something is definitely there, but let me know what you think it could be. This Chicago police body cam shows multiple officers rushing to save a man and his dog from freezing in Lake Michigan. From a distance, it looks like the distressed person is trapped on a snowbank at first.
Sir! Someone over here!
But as the officer approaches, you can see the person is actually waist deep in freezing waters and ready to go under. The officers quickly extend a rescue cord for him to tie onto, and they yank him to safety with one strong pull.
Come on! Hold me! Got this! Hold me! Here we go! You're good! Come on! You're good! Thank you so much! You're good, dude.
Thankfully, they are able to do the same with the dog as well. I'm guessing that he was walking his dog along the edge of the water for a nicer view when the snow gave way. The cold water must have left him practically frozen from the waist down and unable to climb out. Let me know if you agree whether or not that's what probably happened. What's more terrifying than your child staring at something invisible in the middle of the night when you hear someone talking to her? Posted to the Ghosts subreddit, ElSoto14 explains, everyone was asleep in the house, but something told me to check my daughter's monitor. She was sleeping, then sat up and stared at the door. The Redditor is wondering what the strange noise might be at the 10-second mark of the recording. There seems to be a consensus in the comments that the voice says the word listen. Others say it just sounds like a frog croaking to them. The Redditor notes that her daughter doesn't remember anything from the incident, whatever the voice is saying. If it really is a voice, the girl sitting up, seemingly aware of the presence, in and of itself is terrifying. A YouTuber named Daniel Ott performs a summoning ritual that quickly comes to a close after he begins to feel weird. In doing so, he accidentally records a strange moving light while describing how bad he feels.
I don't know, my body, it just doesn't feel right now. I've just been hearing things.
It might be trails of light left by the paranormal, or it could just be light reflecting off the chandeliers as he crosses the dining room. But still, as soon as he walks into the next room, this fleeting shadow appears on the wall. It could belong to him, but the angles don't quite match up.
Alright guys, that's gonna be the end of the video. I'm not sure if I'm probably gonna make another one of these.
One of these experiences could be easily explained away, but having both of them happen back to back is almost too much of a coincidence for me to believe, especially after a summoning ritual. Here's a bit of universal advice that applies to everyone, no matter which country you're in. If you and your friends are thinking about exploring some creepy haunted abandoned places, just don't. It could save your life. This YouTuber went exploring these abandoned houses in Egypt and caught some scary stuff on camera that left him and his friends running for their lives. The group has a bad feeling and should have left early, but they keep exploring because no one wants the shame that comes with being the most scared. They're looking for a way into this house but never get the chance.
صح؟ كده خاف يصطادنا. طب تعالى كده في المجال. اختفى ولا ايه؟ بس يا جدعان كان هنا. الشاب صح. حد انور عليه، انور عليه.
They still can't believe what they are seeing, so they take one last final look. The figure is still there and they're still scared. When hiding in a field doesn't work, they decide to run deeper into the forest. Their plan works and they vow never to return to this area again, and for good reason. I don't know if there really was someone who they didn't know living in this place, or if it was just one of their friends. It's probably a skit though because of how slow the person chasing them walks. It's 10 at night when a sphere of light travels across the living room of a YouTuber named Play With Me. Moments later, this spectral figure emerges from the same area where the light last went off to. Its see-through body is especially visible against the dark hardwood floor as it crosses the room and walks straight through the door without opening it. There's no doubt that this is the sphere of a person, but is this editing or a real ghost is the real question. Seeing something other than wild animals and nature in the forest is always creepy, so what if you saw this? James Jones published a creepy figure that he'd caught on video in the forest in June of 2012. He explained that he was currently making a homemade indie horror flick for which he wrote his own script. After setting up a prop ritual circle in the middle of the forest, based off of research for his film, he ran some rehearsals and then headed home. He returned the next afternoon to film more. That's when he spotted this figure. In his own words, "I don't have any explanation on what it is. The reason why this is so weird is because this figure is exactly where I had created the ritual circle last night." When he returned with his camera that evening, the figure had disappeared. From afar, it appears like a hooded demon wearing a black robe. It's unmoving. While many in the comments believe it's just a tree or a stump, others wonder if the uploader was reaping the consequences of setting up a ritual circle in the forest. What do you think it is? It's midnight when this ladder starts walking by itself in an apartment building garage. It looks like it has to be the work of a ghost, but it's actually on a very gradual ramp moving down. This middle section of the ladder, called a spreader, looks like it's too worn out to lock in place anymore, and so the ladder almost tips over and then catches itself, taking another step forward in the process. But still, somebody has to bump the ladder first to get it moving. So if this just spontaneously happened out of nowhere, then that's a cause for concern. Amy Admin wonders if an actual apparition was caught on home security camera haunting her place. Her strange sighting happened at 7 in the morning. A vaguely human-shaped figure walks to the curb and mysteriously disappears. Some scary stuff is going on across the street from her house, or is it? Perhaps it is a reflection of a car hitting the brakes. The alleged apparition does seem to come and go with the appearance of a car. The only problem with this theory is that there's nothing here for the brake lights to reflect off of. Maybe a piece of glass on the ground or something. So what's been caught on tape? Paranormal activity or a trick of light? I don't know, and now I'm as creeped out as Amy Admin is. Jake Weber orders a Dybbuk box online, and at the exact moment it arrives at his house, his friend just so happens to get involved in a fender bender while coming over. It could just be a coincidence, but I think it's a small sample of the bad luck brought on by this demonic new purchase. Inside the package is not one, but 2 Dybbuk boxes. Both of them are covered in strange markings, which Jake and his friends are able to decipher online. Much to their dismay, they discover most, if not all, of the symbols represent various demon lords. If you know anything about ancient symbiology, then please let me know if they are correctly identifying the symbols here. Afterwards, Jake is plagued by paranormal occurrences over the next few days. He sees, feels, and hears disturbances all around his home at random. One problem area seems to be at a gate that's just around the side of his house.
That one keeps being reopened every day, and we keep locking it.
The past 3 days?
Coincidentally, this gate is also where the box was first delivered. Jake and his friends finally decide to open the box, and when they do, these strange old family photographs are all they find. I'm not sure if photographs can bring bad luck, so let me know if you think this is possible or just their imaginations. While filming some footage in an old hotel corridor for a project, Redditor I Am Not the Problem captured something unexpected. Look for the pale blobby thing floating in the middle of the hallway. Did you see it? The Redditor says it's not a bug, and they weren't wearing any reflective jewelry. Still, Redditors have some plausible theories. The more I watch the clip, the more I logic my way toward the mere hypothesis. YouTuber Dennis of Dark Life came across this terrifying find in the forest, and my guess is that it did not want to be found. After hearing a sound, he turns down his light so as not to scare the creature off.
По минимальному, чтобы видеть, куда идти, потому что здесь полная тьма. Все, я пошел.
But in the darkness lies an evil that you must see to believe. What was that horrifying thing? Here it is again, slower this time. I have no idea what that is, but it looks like it's feasting on something, and its glowing eyes and terrifying screech are something that will stay with me when I turn out the lights. Michael Luongo catches a shapeless form floating around his basement that he can't explain. You can see it best during the first 5 seconds of the video, when one half stands out against the steps. It's also barely visible in the reflection of the television here at 10 seconds. And when Michael turns back at the stairs, it's already gone. I'm thinking that there might be something wrong with the camera to make this blurry object appear, but then again, it does happen to be floating right above this access panel behind the sofa, so maybe Michael should open it up and see if anything is waiting for him in the wall. A YouTuber named Miguel Alvarez is racing down the road at high speeds for a very good reason. He catches up to a red car and immediately gets the driver's attention.
Hey! It's on fire!
It's on fire!
The flames quickly crawl up the vehicle and soon reach the engine. What you see here is the end result just before firefighters arrived and contained the blaze. It looks bad, but things could have been way worse. The woman could have still been inside of this vehicle, if not for the heroic actions of Miguel Alvarez and his friend, Demon. For some reason, there's nothing scarier than a grown human crawling. Currently trending in the Arabic-speaking YouTube community, this video was shared by YouTube channel Blah Blah. The footage captures an uncanny humanoid figure in a dark room at the end of the hall. Get ready to hide in the comments. That thing looks like Gollum on steroids. Would you survive this heart attack? Don't worry, you don't have to. This video is an animation. Its original source is artist Max Verheyen. I've gotta admit, I'm impressed with his skills, but with the nightmares this is gonna give me, I wish I'd never seen them. Number 20. If you suffer from arachnophobia, you definitely would want to keep your lights on for this one. What at first looks like your ordinary everyday bramble of twigs amidst some rocks is not what it seems. With a stick, Connor Long, the video's creator, disturbs the nest, the many legs of which start to move. Published in July of 2011, Long came upon this daddy longlegs nest near Santa Barbara in Los Padres National Forest. Long notes that research into this clustering behavior came up short. as it isn't understood why they do this, whether it's for mating or moisture conservation during the hot summer months or some other reason. Whatever the basis for this behavior, one thing's for sure, don't step on this bramble or you may just pass away of fear. A Twitter user named Kazuki Sake is visiting a graveyard in Japan when he claims this pebble broke off a statue and went into a frenzy. Try and translate this part into English if you can.
いやだって今石だったんだべ。手でね、多分持ったやつ。
軽石みたいな。
すごいね。
So what do you think is going on here? This could be an actual ghost, CGI, or maybe even just a pebble on a string. Some rather unexplained paranormal activity was caught on video when a ghost hunter by the name of Tracy puts their camera on the floor of a haunted house, one of the many haunted places in an unnamed ghost town they're exploring all alone. Soon, strange noises are heard as a shadow figure slowly plays against the wall. This might be an actual shadow figure, or someone walking across the window to create the appearance of one. The noises make sound like they could be special effects played from a speaker. This video is all the more reason not to work from home. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit, Big Bo One Jord explains that a friend sent him this clip after he kept hearing things in the middle of the night. He started taking video to catch some evidence of the noise's source. In the video, the friend walks out into the hallway from his bedroom. As he nears his office, something very clearly moves out of view, but it's not clear what that something is. A Redditor who goes by the username Captain Fatbelly recommends viewers to turn up the brightness on the video. He writes, "It definitely looks like a person. I worry about the chance there might actually be somebody lurking around in your friend's house." Other Redditors agree that it looks like a person, while Scary Ninja Gamer says, "Your friend is screwed." We'd have to agree. April and Kevin of a YouTube channel called AK Explorations team up with some of their ghost hunting friends to take on the Florida Grand Opera House, a historic location established in 1884 that is rumored to have acquired quite a few spirits over the past 135 years. April stands behind the scenes and gazes upon a row after row of empty seats. She's busy taking in the sights when she captures this paranormal moment on camera. At 4 minutes and 48 seconds, a shadow figure walks between the red curtains on the other side of the opera. I was thinking that this could have just been the shadow of one of the other people she was with, except for 3 things. First, there's also a passing shadow on her side of the room at 4 minutes and 46 seconds. It happens next to her, in exactly 2 seconds before it happens again on the other side of the room. Second, there's a really weird noise before the shadow person appears. She kinda makes a sigh, but there's also like a shrieking noise or something at the same time. Third of all, these orbs appear when she tries to tell Kevin about the experience.
Who's back there? I waited. I saw someone walk back there.
Next, they go to the balcony seats, and a strange feeling overtakes April at 7 minutes and 27 seconds.
Weird up here, guys. Let's sit here for a minute. Actually, here for a minute.
This strange white anomaly appears 2 seconds after she says she doesn't feel normal up here. It does look like a floating hair, but it also kind of looks like a phantom outline walking down the steps. The feeling grows so strong that she needs to step away and regather her thoughts. She turns around and is sure she's being watched again, and I'm almost sure I see the curtains move right where she believes it to be.
Guys, it feels really weird. Right here. Chelsea's doing her awfulest down there.
When AK Explorations aren't exploring fancy operas, they are usually busy investigating much less sophisticated haunts, like this chicken farm in the middle of nowhere. Eyes are on them from afar before they've even stepped foot inside, hopefully those of a wild animal rather than a restless spirit. though probably the latter based on what they soon encounter.
Middle of the night, by ourselves.
April immediately feels watched as they enter the abandoned home. She turns around and her light barely manages to catch more eyes, along with whatever this is.
Sorry, I heard something behind me.
It's a different color than the surrounding green plants, and it looks much closer than anything else, possibly even on the porch with her. She doesn't notice and moves on. Inside, all of the windows are blacked out so that no light gets through. Though I don't know why anyone would choose to do this, and I was hoping you might have a reason for it. In the corner of the living room is a knotted rope surrounded by flies. I don't know what happened here, but I'm glad they didn't check to see what's inside the black garbage bag right next to the rope. Next, April and Kevin sweep over the house with a black light to see if there are any signs of a struggle. Sure enough, at 10 minutes and 33 seconds, they find a red stain on the bed that is not visible without their equipment. A second similar red stain is found on the mattress at 10 minutes and 42 seconds, so something happened here. A noise interrupts April right as she suspects someone could still be in here.
Do you hear that?
I'll admit that I didn't hear anything at first, but soon a strange hum fills the air. This house has no power, so nothing should be humming at all. You really hear it at 11 minutes and 30 seconds.
Babe, come here. Oh, come here, let's go ahead.
The noise guides them to one room in particular. Something in their mind tells them not to go any further. A sixth sense warning that danger is near. April reasons that the floor might not be able to support their weight, but I'm pretty sure they felt the presence of whatever this is.
Is this just, you think it's safe to walk on?
It's a noise they do not hear until they watch the video much later. Looking back, all they knew was that it was time to leave. When you investigate haunted places, expect to be followed home. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit, So That's Scary claims a spirit from a ghost ship followed them home. Originally published to YouTube by SDK Paranormal in September of 2020, the YouTuber explains, there is a lot of strange things happening outside, which we really do think is directly related to a spirit named George that followed us home from an investigation. So what happened? Robert explains in the video that ever since the team investigated the USS Edson, they've been encountering the spirit of George. The security footage shows a shadow appearing to knock on their door. According to Robert, they heard 3 knocks inside as this occurred. The spirit threw rocks, appeared as orbs in their photos, and spoke to them via EVP. This is when they set up security cameras and caught this on video. George shows up in the form of bright orbs, invariably a black shadow orb, which seemingly causes a chair to move. Next, the kickstand on the bike goes up of its own accord. The spirit is wild, but perhaps he just wants to be friends. On the other hand, he's throwing rocks. Who knows what he wants? Diane thinks she has caught a ghost on video crossing her living room around 3 a.m. The ghost is a woman with long hair whose back is turned. For months, Diane has been feeling something paranormal in her house, and if you look closely, you'll see her cat Noah wake up and look to where the ghost of a weird woman just walked by. There are no other paranormal videos on Diane's channel at all. The rest is 3 years of content about a niche hobby that has nothing to do with the spirit world, which makes me think it could be a real paranormal incident. With that said, I found another video that shows she roughly has the same hair length as the woman who says she was a ghost, so I'm on the fence with this one. Haunted. Ever have that feeling that someone else is here? YouTuber Exploring with Joe has. I'll let him explain.
Hi guys, got an experiment today, and I used the SLS the other day, and there was a figure lying on the settee. So I'm going to do a little bit of an investigation just to see if there's anything in my house.
As he speaks to the spirits via the spirit box, his K2 spikes.
Can you say Jean for me, if you are Jean?
Gene is here. Joe gets double confirmation.
Is this Gene I'm talking to?
With the investigation complete, one question remains. Is Gene a good spirit or an evil one? I suppose that would depend on what weird stuff the spirit has been up to in Joe's house. I'd keep a watchful eye on things if I was him. Number 12. This tiny humanoid lays on the tile floor, its arms stretched helplessly in front of it, as if it had been crawling to safety before it stopped on its side. When you zoom in really close at 32 seconds, you can see the head is much darker than the body, and it almost looks like it has two eyes and a thin, expressionless line for a mouth. Definitely not the face of a rodent, and definitely not like the face of anything I've seen before. I don't know if this is a shriveled up baby mouse or what. I can almost see a tail behind it, but then again it looks like it could be its legs. It looks more like it walks on 2 legs than 4. The team at Dark Arts TV heads into this haunted home to dial up their paranormal investigation, and it delivers. In one room they find 2 curious things.
What? Look at that. See, that's too weird. Like the clock's still going, bro.
I'm kind of curious about that, though. Why is there a trap door?
Oh, yeah.
Then they hear something.
Was that in the room or upstairs?
I don't know. I don't know if it was upstairs, like the floorboards creaking. Did you hear that? Did you hear it? It went shh.
They find a mysterious object in the wall.
What's that? Check it out.
What is it? It's like white. What the bro, what is that?
It looks like a bone, and they think someone's playing a trick on them.
This feels like an absolute piss take.
It does, doesn't it?
It feels like someone's taking the piss out of us.
As if someone knows we're coming here.
What was that bang downstairs? Real quick. Take it with you. I know. Just take it with you.
The mystery continues. When they investigate the bang they hear upstairs, they find something unusual.
Dude.
No! That's the bang we heard. That's the bang. We heard that bang upstairs, bro. That's it. How weird is this?
What is on that disc? Soon they sense something in the kitchen with them.
Was you murdered? Right there.
Right there.
A noise right there.
Whoa. Something moved up there, bro. Do you see it?
Later, as they're trying to communicate with the spirits, something butts in.
Are you the woman? Bro, what the f is this man? What the is that, man? What the is that?
After all that, this is what sends them running.
It's a something project.
I'm out.
What the f? Get the f out of here, bro. Get out of here quick.
While many in the comments believe this video is staged, at least some of it seems real to me. The strange sounds and the movement of the chair at the end convinces me that there's something more to this home. Haunted house. This haunted house isn't anything less than terrifying. The Ouija brothers head inside to discover what lurks within. As they first enter, they hear a door bang.
What? So let's go and have a look. Did you hear that?
I did hear like a boom.
Like a bang of a door or something.
They continue on and stop short again when they hear voices.
I think we should go in the dark. Literally, I heard voices.
In another hallway, they hear a woman's voice.
Say.
Yeah.
That's like a woman's voice.
With the spirit box on, some confused expressions resound.
Am I dead?
Jesus.
Your phone is
Anna.
the one.
Abused.
And while they're communicating with the spirit, they hear an unexplained thud.
What's that?
It's okay.
Then later, this low murmur is heard.
Jace. What? Jace. What?
To me, that was the creepiest bit of evidence in this whole investigation. I'm convinced, with that murmur and the messages through the spirit box, that something horrible transpired in this place. Number 2. This creature in the sky is unidentifiable, but it's got 6 legs. We originally came across this video on the Spanish-speaking scary video community in June of 2019. The thing appears to have a pin head, multiple crab-like legs, and finally wings. As you can see when it takes off from the tree branch it's crouched upon. The creature looks extraterrestrial. It's certainly something nobody has seen on Earth. Whatever it is, you don't want this monster hiding under your bed. We managed to track down the original source, and this turns out to be a CGI creature made by the Nicaraguan YouTube team, JJPD Producciones. So if you come across this video because it's spreading all over the internet, now you know its true origins. Does your workplace have a paranormal whirlpool? Mine neither, but YouTuber Matusis does, and she's captured the crazy anomaly on video. Take a look.
¿Qué será? Parece que alguien lo está haciendo girar.
Sí, sí.
This is a hospital in San Miguel de Tucumán, but what is causing this? At first, I thought perhaps it was a fan or vacuum blowing from above, but when it began to create this strange shape in the foam, I wasn't so sure, but YouTubers in the comments have some theories.
¿Qué será, no? Parece una mano, ¿qué es eso?
Pide ayuda.
Others refute Diego's assessment.
Yo pensé que era una mira.
Yo también.
Pensé que era, pero... Este está mejor que cuida a mi sobrina.
I agree that it's not sodium or entities, so what is it? A vortex into another world? I think only someone brave enough to dive in could find out. Most ghosts don't ask for permission, they just let themselves in. Published in January of 2022, Amitav Paranormal Tech YT writes that during her last live stream, her REM pod activated, so she decided to leave some equipment on during the night. She also left her security cameras on. Here's what they captured. The door of the room swings open, apparently letting no one in. A light to the side on a table then turns on and blinking can be seen throughout the room. What just let itself in? Is it something to be feared? Either way, it definitely wants itself to be known. It's a full moon and a YouTuber who goes by the name of Al Capone is in the most hectic cemetery I have ever seen. He can't even explain what he's been through without getting interrupted.
Okay, things moving behind tombstones while I was driving.
Then listen to this at 4 minutes and 52 seconds.
No, behind me.
Oh, you heard it behind you? I heard it.
No, I heard what was by you, but I'm saying by the cars like...
Al is talking when another man's voice speaks at the same time. What they hear a minute and a half later leaves their mouths hanging open. I mean, this could be neighbors from some of the nearby houses, except there's really no reason for anybody to be shouting near the cemetery in the middle of the night. Plus, the direction these voices are coming from is deeper in the cemetery, away from the houses and closer to the woods. And since this video was made in the middle of January 2020, I doubt anyone was out there camping. What if you fell asleep only to awaken to find a venomous snake slithering in the sleeve cuff of your shirt? That's what happened to the relative of a patient in a government hospital in India. The man was napping on the floor when a green venomous snake slithered inside his shirt. When a member of the hospital staff noticed the movements in the man's shirt, they called a local wildlife rescue society for assistance. Personnel from the center arrived and managed to remove the snake from the man's kurta, which is a loose collarless shirt in India. Surprisingly, they did not awaken the snake during its removal, and undoubtedly, that man certainly thinks twice now before catching some Z's on the floor. The Shadows Are Coming For You, published by ILM and Bono Paranormal in July of 2021. This creepy clip shows you are never as alone as you think. A man is walking through an abandoned building, and his camera scans the room. Look carefully in the window pane. A shadow figure passes by, outlined against the glass. It's unclear if the figure is outside walking past or inside being reflected, but all I do know is the cameraman has company. If I were him, I'd be getting out of there ASAP. Is this a werewolf, a cryptid, or something else? Redditor Twist of Fate 666 shares this creepy video of a mysterious creature in the darkness. Watch closely and tell me what you think. I think I'd run for the hills if I saw this in my backyard, but Redditors have many different takes. It looks like a demon at this angle, but still others think it's something natural. Is this an elephant or a four-legged stilt Halloween costume, as some Redditors are suggesting? Or, like the uploader thinks, could this be a werewolf? There are so many options that I feel I'm leaving this guessing game with more questions than answers. In this ghost investing collaboration, members of the Holy Walkers, Urban Ghost Urban Explorations, and 539 Productions team up to check out some abandoned properties in the woods at night. They are close friends, and so it becomes a lighthearted exploration full of laughs, but they do miss two things. One of them happens during a passing moment of silence.
You can see a Joe in his native environment.
I don't know what that is, but I do know it sounds large and close by, and during this exact moment appears two green eyes that look like they could be leaves at first, except they aren't touching the tree next to it, and they aren't pine needles like the rest. Believe it or not, the same face appears behind a screen window exactly 5 minutes and 10 seconds later, so I don't think they necessarily found a ghost, but something was probably out there with them, and if they ever return, they might be unlucky enough to find it again, and next time it might do more than just watch. According to YouTuber Extinct File, the locals in this community say that macabre events happen inside this cursed restaurant, and when the Extinct File team visited, they weren't disappointed. As they search the place, a moan is heard. Then they happen upon this strange message.
¿Ven es tu familia? No mames, güey. Ve eso. CJNG.
I'm not sure what that could mean. As the team descends the stairs, something nearby breaks.
¿Qué pedo? A la madre, güey. ¿Qué pedo?
Then they come across a mysterious object in a bucket. I really want to know what's so disturbing in that bucket that it must be censored. And as they're looking at it, they hear more noise.
Veo algo raro ahí, güey. No, no mames. No mames. Velo tú mismo, güey.
In yet another room, banging is heard.
La madre, güey. Algo nos aventaron, ¿eh?
And again.
Buenas noches. La madre, güey. No mames. Va a ser alguien, güey. Está afuera, ¿eh?
Is something after them?
La madre, güey. La madre. No, 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 no. Güey. Están por todos lados, güey. No nos quieren aquí, ¿eh?
I think it's pretty clear that ghost hunters aren't welcome here. This is the curses territory, and if you know anything about curses, you know not to mess with them. Zakenikoff is exploring the Bower House, an old farmhouse in West Virginia, when he catches something of interest leaning out the window. This gray spectre watches over them from afar. If you still don't see it, it's looking to the left, and the lighter colored area at the bottom is its right shoulder. Don't worry, if it's too hard to see, Zake didn't see it at first either. His camera passes right over it and doesn't notice until they were already far away. I think it looks like it could be the reflection of a cloud, but at the same time I do agree it looks like it could be the spirit of a person watching them enter, and if it is, it doesn't seem pleased. This rare Russian creature is being called everything from a mole to a troll. The phone quality is too poor to make out much more than a tiny humanoid hand and a small face. Whatever this is, it doesn't behave much like a mole, which I doubt would stay above ground with two humans so close. Anyway, try to translate this conversation if you can, and let me know if they ever say what kind of creature this is.
Quantos saíram? Só Aí pra trás tem mais quantos? Cela 4 e a ala.
Bora, bota a cara pra cima aí.
At the 15-second mark, you can see its hand more clearly, and it does look like it could have a well-developed thumb, which would exclude it from belonging to most species. With that said, I think it could perhaps be a baby possum, which do have opposable thumbs and sometimes like to burrow underground. I could be wrong though, and even after almost 100,000 views, nobody seems to have come up with a concrete answer. A YouTuber named QBangGuy receives a deep web mystery box with a pile of old electronics inside. He notices an outdated cassette player with headphones, so he puts them on and hears a woman saying the same thing over and over again in a different language. Listen to this part and let me know if you can translate. Something about the woman's tone sounds menacing to me, almost as if she is making a twisted prediction. If you speak the language, please let me know if I am right. Leaked aerial footage was taken in late 2006. A formation of Italian fighter jets returned to base after conducting some training exercises when one of them, the one shown here, notices a thick black cloud fast approaching and only has moments to react.
Come? Sta passando da pane in mezzo a noi.
He performs an emergency maneuver and barely avoids a commercial airliner full of civilian passengers at the last possible second. Thankfully, his training kicked in because the much larger jetliner could not have changed its course. Look again and you'll see they come close enough to almost clip wings. If they had collided, no one would have survived. While exploring this haunted place, YouTuber Rodolfo Augusto and his crew are trying to escape the creature. Let's see if they do. They find a mysterious jar inside the home, but as they're examining it, a bang is heard.
Alguém abre?
Não sei. Porra, cacete.
Quem tá aí?
Eu acho que é o vento, mano. Tá vendo? Ó, ó, olha ali, ó. Ó.
They try to open the jar, but again hear a noise.
Não é vento, não.
Você vai tacar um negócio?
Foi reação.
They push this door open, but are too scared to enter.
Tem alguém aqui? Ui. Isso aí não é vento, não.
And yet it won't stop.
É vento.
Que é aquilo, velho?
Que é aquilo ali na porta?
That's when they finally see it.
Eu vi.
That's all I need for my dreams to forever be nightmares. Some videos on the internet can haunt you. February 20th, 2003, Station Nightclub, a great white concert. The headliner takes the stage seconds after they open with their Billboard hit Desert Moon. Pyrotechnics are launched by the tour manager as part of the spectacle. Little does he know that the acoustic foam located in the ceilings and walls around the stage will soon go ablaze. Most initially believed it was part of the show, but soon the crowd began to understand that this was not a controlled incident. The band's lead vocalist, Jack Russell, said into the microphone, "Wow, that's not good," before some of the band and their entourage fled the stage via the west exit. A stampede towards the main exit resulted in a bottleneck and trampling. Cameraman Brian Butler for WPRI-TV of Providence was there that night filming for a piece on nightclub safety. Some of his footage was released to national news stations. If you're wondering if you can stomach the footage, take notes from Redditor Buffalady87, who writes, "The worst part is in the beginning there's so much screaming, then as people are running outside you realize it's actually pretty quiet, not because people calm down, but because you are actually listening to the people still inside. Things can get out of hand. This video reveals when people and things have gone just a little too far. Sometimes those darndest things send chills down our spine. This video will make you question the afterlife." Tariq Elite writes, "A woman goes to her mother's grave to visit. Her little girl seems to be waving and talking to someone and even kisses them."
Where are you waving at, Leah?
Bye, kids. Bye-bye.
Tariq goes on to ask if it's true that they can see into spiritual realms. The video shows a sweet girl, likely not older than 2, standing near a headstone waving. She appears to be looking up into the nothingness but seeing something. She greets the invisible spectre, standing on the top of the grave to get a better look. She even reaches with one pointed finger before dismounting from the grave. Some in the comments suggest that the young girl's frequency hasn't been fully compromised yet by the earth, while others say that our ancestors are always with us. Do you agree? Are young ones able to visually access a frequency that we're not capable of reaching? This video seems to be proof that there really is something just beyond the veil. If you've ever been in a bug swarm of any kind, you'll know it can give you chills. This Mayfly swarm is no different. In fact, it's practically nightmarish.
Oh my God!
When the Mayflies took over this bridge in Iowa, snowplows were required to unblock the swarm buzzing in the bridge's path. In fact, the bridge had been so completely swarmed by the bugs that emergency crews were sent to the area. The nightmare scene turned into a scary situation after bikers tried to plow through the massive heap of Mayflies but lost traction. Luckily, they escaped. The bridge's clearing was recorded by Tina Franzen as she rode along in her son's police car. Franzen said of the event, "I've lived in Sabula since '75. I've never seen that many before, ever." To clear the bugs over the following weeks, it was decided by the Iowa Department of Transportation to keep the streetlights off near the bridge, as the lights attract the Mayflies. Here's hoping it all worked out for Iowa. They don't need any more of this nightmare fuel. Did this drone footage capture a spirit manifestation on camera? Or is this just a reflection? Redditor Staffordshire PE had investigated this old Welsh hotel and, after experiencing a very active night, returned to capture some drone shots. That's when they saw this. See if you can spot it. Did you see it? Here it is up close. It does look like something semi-transparent flies past the third window to the left. Most Most in the comments agree that it's a reflection, but others think it's strange that the reflection appears to move while the drone is stationary. Others are saying there doesn't appear to even be a window pane in the broken window. So what do you think? It does look like a reflection to me, but I'd rather believe it's Casper the friendly ghost.
I love waking up now on Saturdays and being able to enjoy my family. We never have to.
This video of the Watts family goes from heartwarming to horrifying. When you hear the terrible backstory, Shannon Watts talks about how happy she is while her husband Chris sits on the other side of the room, his back turned. Chris doesn't say hello or even move during this part. His mannerisms are very stiff and distant. He doesn't even seem to be looking at his kids.
Bella, say hi. Bella, say hi.
Sometime after this video was taken, Shannon and Chris got into a giant argument and he took her life. He gathered both of his daughters and took them along with his wife's body to his place of work while he buried his wife while they watched. Going back to the happy home video and listening to his children cry for their dad is sickening. You want to somehow save them, but there's nothing that you or anyone else can do.
And we're super excited. Bella, come here for a second, baby.
Sadly, after they were done witnessing the burial of their mother, Chris took their lives next. For this, he was sentenced to life behind bars without parole. While visiting Nemoland, YouTuber Fokker Donkey captured a paranormal sighting while out on a ghost hunt. As the guys drive forward, something uncanny drifts past. Did you see it? A pale figure appears on the left. The crew believes this is a Pekong, a Javanese ghost said to be the soul of a passed away person trapped in their shroud. I'm not totally sold on this one, simply because I think it could be a statue in the darkness, appearing to drift as they drive past. Then again, it almost looks like it moves upward rather than just sideways. What do you think? Beyond this fence lays an abandoned asylum that a YouTuber named TGF Bro and his friends badly want to explore. The inside looks like a tattered mansion on the verge of collapse. Strange noises follow them as they progress deeper into the interior of the asylum.
Did you get that on camera?
When they get deep enough, TGF Bro pulls out a Ouija board and begins directing questions to whoever or whatever is near.
If there's anybody there, please move the triangle to yes.
The group hears a loud bang directly behind them, and they all take off. I noticed that the third person was off camera though, so maybe that person made the commotion and then acted scared. Then again, old asylums are supposed to be notoriously haunted, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Ouija board really did bring spirits near. If you've ever been down a mine shaft, you know how eerie it can be. So imagine hearing these sounds while you're down there. YouTuber Retro Electroville published this footage in June of 2011 of a mine shaft in Del Zura, California, in the Mine Canyon area, writing, "We come across an open shaft with creepy sounds coming from it." Creepy is right.
I think it's on the right.
The sound is a strange hissing noise that seems to be coming from deeper within the shaft. Of course, whatever is making the creepy hiss is out of view, so we can only guess as to what the source might be. Is it a phantom? A pile of snakes? Despite knowing the true source, the sound still gives us goosebumps. While light can certainly play tricks on us, and on a camera, things can get creepy. Posted to the Ghosts subreddit, Garno7 explains that he and some friends were hanging around their campfire near a lake, and one of them captured this on his phone. The clip shows a figure appearing to run from their group of people into the roaring flames. Watch as the camera pans from left to right. Can you see it? While many in the comments say the figure is nothing but a lens flare. A couple Redditors counter that argument. Redditor Patrick RS Ghost writes, "At first I thought it was some flare or something due to the transition from dark to light very quickly, but when I looked closer I could see something start to move within the crowd at around the 2-second mark, almost to the left of the little girl in the pink sweater, right as the camera starts to pan, and upon looking again, I can totally see what this Redditor is talking about. So now I think there's a good chance this could be paranormal, because when you take the time, it seems to sync up." A large white creature has been constantly creeping around the yard of a YouTuber named Sans for a long time now, and no one knows what it is. The latest sighting happens during broad daylight, and his camera is able to pick up more detail than ever before. You can see here that the creature is not very big, roughly around the same size of a nearby dog, and judging from this dog's behavior, I'd say this is clearly a real creature and not one of his friends wearing a costume. If you need more proof that this isn't a person, watch how it scratches its head with its foot at a weird angle. No human would be able to kick that fast. I would say that this is a rabbit, but I don't really see any ears and the legs look distinctly human when it walks. Tell me what animal you think this is. Until I get a better explanation, I will continue thinking that this is probably a humanoid of some kind. When you visit a place that's notoriously haunted, don't expect to be disappointed. Posted to YouTube by Corndictive, the uploader writes of this clip, "Watch the very top window of the house. That flash didn't happen when we were taping this, and none of us know what it is. There were no cars out when this happened. The top window in question is that of the Glenmore Mansion." This clip necessitates a little background on this spooky place. As it turns out, many of the historical sites of Jefferson County, Tennessee are crazy haunted. Glenmore Mansion was built in 1799. It belonged to a family for a century and was later bought up by Mr. Milton Preston Jarnigan, who named the house after his first son who passed away as an infant. The home was in the Jarnigan family for a further century. Over the course of more than 2 centuries, passing in this old home were bound to occur, resulting in the haunting of these hallowed grounds. According to some legends, the house is like an Escher drawing in that the exterior windows are more in number than the interior windows. Others also suggest the home's height changes, although some say the mega mansion has 15 rooms across 5 stories, with other sites reporting there are 27 rooms. When the mansion falls dark, visitors claim there's a presence roaming around the home, but don't worry, the presence is benevolent. Some believe it to be the ghost of a local historian, Thomas Roach. When alive, Roach claimed that if ever a ghost was found there, it would be him. But one of the creepiest sightings happened outside the mansion altogether. A young girl is often seen walking along the estate's road at night in the darkness. From unexplained sounds to shadows in the mirrors, the mansion has had its fair share of ghastly ghosts. Tours of the home are routine, but once the lights are out and the house has been abandoned for the night, some say a light turns on in the attic. This Victorian gem of a house seems so perfectly cookie cutter that it's the perfect place for a haunting, and the unsettling nature of the home is confirmed by this video. The crew focuses in on an upstairs window where they see lights or a flash of white and something moving inside. Can you spot it? Whether you believe in ghosts or not, you probably wouldn't want to be in Glenmore Mansion when the lights turned on. This statue is said to move her eyes repeatedly. Thousands of people flock to see it, and some are saying that it happens here in this video. One person thought it might be blinking here. I definitely see it as well. Another person says her left arm moves. I don't see it, and I think those who do probably are getting fooled by unsteady camera work in my opinion. Still, thousands of people have visited this statue because apparently it moves, so maybe I'm the one who's wrong. A YouTuber named Darwin Quesada gets no further than a single step into an abandoned house when he hears footsteps from inside, high heels to be exact. He and his friends are determined to find the source of the commotion, so they climb the steps to the top floor. The footsteps resume and a swirling cluster of white orbs appears when these sounds, much worse than footsteps, catch them by surprise. They run down the steps at the sound of a door slamming somewhere unseen, but eventually convince each other to go back upstairs. They search every room and can't find where the footsteps are coming from, but then the footsteps grow louder, and 4 minutes is the exact moment the footsteps enter the room. They are in from behind and walk right past where they are standing. The group is besides themselves and giddy with fear at this point, because it sounds like they are now walking around inside of these cabinets, which is obviously impossible, and yet happening before their eyes. Darwin's initial relief that nothing is behind the door is swept away by horror when this happens. The third door swings open on its own without a sound, and they all run away without getting a clear look inside. According to the title of this video, what they saw was a real phantom staring back at them. It's gruesome, the likes of which you or I cannot even begin to fathom. On January 15th, 2013, YouTuber Mr. Hutch117 posted this strange sound heard in the forest.
I wouldn't be out in nighttime.
Where did it come from? We're in the middle of nowhere. The man filming asks. The man believed it was coming from up above somehow, though it also seems to come from every direction. He and his hiking partner had just heard a noise that was a bit off-putting. He decided to turn on his phone's video to capture the sound if they heard it again. Halfway through the footage, you can hear why they were concerned. The sound sounds off again, and it seemed like the guttural laughter of a demon.
Maybe it wasn't 2012, it was 2013.
Then comes on a deep and echoey wailing, something that's not human, not animal, not anything known. Well, viewers think it must be fake because the people in the video aren't reacting much to the frightening sound. Others suggest it could be related to the mysterious trumpet-like noises heard worldwide, and some say it could be the US government project HARP. What do you think it is? Barry is positive that a spirit is moving around stuff in his house, so he takes a random object, puts it in the middle of the floor. This cat toy is remote controlled, so he puts the controller next to the toy to show that he is not messing with it at all. Nothing happens until almost 4 minutes into the video.
Okay.
Then nothing else happens until another 4 minutes later when suddenly there's a second burst of movement. When it moves on its own a third time, Barry is confident that he has gathered enough evidence and stops recording. My only explanation is that Barry actually has 2 of these cat toys and was holding a second remote controller in his hands. However, you can just tell by looking at the controller that the big plastic buttons would probably make a loud clicking noise when pressed. Yet I never hear the button being pressed at all. Well, I think there is a good chance that this is real. Maybe Barry could record this again while showing himself in a mirror, just so we can see there is nothing in his hands. Richard205 Maria posted this video in 2013. The description reads, "An entity ghost got a cat jumping scared. They can make very loud noises. In this video, we can see how what many call a rod shifted into something totally different and was flying at a super fast speed, and it made a noise that was very loud and tried to attack the cat, which heard the noise and jump scared over the fence. In the video, the cat walks towards a fence, but when something suddenly shoots down at it, the cat jumps up and hops over to escape the frightening noise. When the video is run in slow motion, the YouTuber suggests the entity is a shapeshifter. It seems to fling down to the ground and back up again. Some in the comments section think this thing was a skyfish. Others say it's obviously a bat. What do you think? Could it be a shapeshifter? Regardless, the footage is quite creepy for the fact that something did seriously startle that cat. Devil's Gate Dam, Kelsey Davies and her crew communicated with the ghost of a twisted individual who took many lives. As soon as they set up their devices, they start to get a reading.
On here. I just touched your boob, I'm sorry. I love how we both moved back. Like, it turned 90. I know.
Then, shortly after, they come into contact with Val.
Are you here with us? Can you cross the dowsing rods if you're here?
They ask if she's near.
Seen the REM pod go off?
Later, they come across a lot of strange debris.
Is that a wallet? What? What is all this? Someone's backpack? Their comb? Oh no, this is a lunchbox.
Does this stuff belong to those who lost their lives at the hands of Val? They return late at night and confirm Val's presence.
Val, is that you?
And they are given a warning.
Oh my Oh my right, it said leave. You said welcome to that flashed and it said leave, Joey. I have the chills.
I may be old school, but if the ghost of a life taker tells you to leave, I really think you should Thank you so much for getting me to 50,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 60,000 subscribers next. Thank you.